After having discussed an example of a local area network technology, the Ethernet technology, we will discuss now another technology, the technology of wireless local area networks. Of course, these are very interesting and used in case of mobile devices. It is radio-based. No more cable-based, no more wired, no more electrical or optical signals. Here, radio-based radio signals are used for organizing the communication. And since one does not need a wire connection, this wireless, this radio-based networks become more and more popular. Such wireless local area networks, they allow what's also called ubiquitous computing. At any time, anywhere, one wants to have access to a network, and this is possible only by means of such wireless technologies. Historically, it is a long tradition that people asked for such wireless network connections. Historical origin is the Aloha Net, 1971. It was a radio network for linking the main islands of Hawaii with a central computer, and the bandwidth was 9,000 bits per second. How does such wireless LAN operating? They are following a star topology, and the star topology is the central base station. This is the so-called access point, also AP, access point. And this access point facilitates the forwarding of the data packets from all the computers that are in a certain area around this access point, and they hand over their data packets to the access point, and the access point hands over it to the receiver or to the internet if the internet is connected. The standard for such wireless local area networks is described in this 802.11 IEEE standard. I will give an overview at the end of this video. The 802.11a, this is a 54 megabits per second standard in the 5 gigahertz frequency band. We have 802.11b, it's an 11 megabits per second in the 2.4 gigahertz frequency band. And to give a third example of the standards, the 802.11i, it's comprising security aspects for such wireless local area networks. Let's have a closer look how a computer, how a mobile device can get access to a wireless LAN, and how such wireless LAN can be connected to the internet or to a local area network. So here we need 3 components. Here we have our wireless LAN. The wireless LAN has a central component. Oh, it's not good to this access point is of course part of the wireless LAN. This is important as a central device which is needed in such a star topology to help that the computers connected to the wireless LAN can interconnect, can send data packets to each other. And if the access point sees, okay, here a computer wants to send a data packet, for example, here to a computer in the Ethernet local area network, then the access point are connected to a switch which connects this wireless LAN with this local area network. And if we want to send a data packet from this computer to another computer in the internet, then we need also a connection to a router which interconnects different local area networks to each other. Nowadays, one has typically all these 3 devices: the wireless LAN router, the access point, the switch, and the router within one device. It's such a wireless LAN router, And then we can interconnect mobile devices over such a wireless LAN router with local area networks or with other local area networks in the internet. When we speak about local area network technology, we have again to think how to deal with multiple access and how to regulate this multiple access to a network. In this case, this multiple access to the access point. So in wireless local networks, we have a very similar mechanism like in the Ethernet, like the CSMA-CD, CSMA-CD, a mechanism in the Ethernet. However, here collisions are still possible. And to give you one example, this is a hidden node problem. Let's consider this situation. We have 1, 2, 3 nodes, and 1 and 2 are within the reach, and 2 and 3 are within the reach, can be reached from each other, but 1 and 3 cannot see each other. So if one is listen to the network around and sees, oh, there is no packet sent, then it can start communication. And at the same moment, also station 3 sees no no data package transmitted. So both see that the communication media is free and start to send signals, and of course they will collision. Collision occurs because node 2 sees and receives in the same time signals from node 1 and node 3. So here we had a modified multiple access with collision avoidance for wireless. This is MACAW, and this is exactly used to elaborate this issue. So here the idea is a request to send is used in addition to the request to send clear to send frames in the Ethernet technology. Now we have to discuss some security aspects in wireless local area networks. Due to the nature of the transmission media, the communication is done by means of radio signals. There is no cable. The security level in radio-based networks is considerably less than in wired networks. In wireless networks, an attacker or anyone who wants to spy out the communication needs to access the physical media and needs to get access to the wire, to the cable, to the ether, or whatever. In case of such wireless local area networks, no physical contact is needed, and the attacker can eavesdrop all the communication, taking and analyzing the radio signals, and he can also try to get unauthorized access to the network by trying to get in contact with the access point and with the other computers. Also, the discovery of such wireless LAN is not difficult. We know this parking lot attacks. You have only to park with your car in front of a building, and then you see and can check what kind of networks, wireless networks, are available in this building. So when we discuss about attacks on the wireless LAN, we have passive attacks that only eavesdrop the data traffic and try to decrypt the data package. There are different methods available by, for example, statistic analysis or others. And then attackers can actively attack the network, the wireless network, by starting some activity. So this is in general true. The passive attacks are very difficult or almost impossible to detect. only if you see that a person that should not know something, but one cannot find out in the network that there is one passively eavesdropping all the traffic. With the active attacks, one can detect that there is someone doing a certain activity. To protect such wireless local area networks, there was from the beginning an encryption protocol foreseen. This is a web protocol, the wired equivalent privacy protocol, which was defined in the IEEE 802.11b in the A02.11b standard. This web protocol is based on a simple secret symmetric key. Simple, it's 40 bits long. That is agreed on between the access point and the participating computer. The reason to use encryption method was that for securing such radio-based networks, one needs to take much more care than with the cable-based networks. To use such a simple secret symmetric key system, the reason was on one side that the mobile devices that want to communicate via such radio-based networks are in the beginning only with limited computational power and also with limited power resources. So one was very carefully looking to design simple mechanisms also for encryption to save energy and to let the mobile systems be able to perform this. Meanwhile, of course, the mobile devices are very strong, have high performance processors. So nowadays, this web technology, this web algorithm, needs to be considered as unsafe. Needs to be considered as unsafe for several reasons. Once the encryption method RC4, which is used in the web protocol, is unsafe. The key that's used is too short, and therefore new technologies were developed to secure wireless networks. This is a WPA technology, or even better, the WPA2 technology, which use for encryption the asymmetric encryption system. So these are much stronger and better. So you should not work with the original web technology to secure the wireless local area network. You should work with WPA or WPA2. But also here, one needs to be careful. If there is a special setting used, the Wi-Fi protected setup, the WPS, then it allows attacker to perform brute force attack to get the WPS pin, and then in the consequence, the WPA or WPA2 becomes unsafe. Beside of the wireless LANs, wireless local area networks, such personal area networks, such PANs become more and more popular. And the idea here is that people want to interconnect, want to use such wireless technology in their home, in a room, to interconnect within a distance of a few meters. For example, the laptop within a device like a printer or a headset or a PC or others. So to create networks in a very close surrounding. And in this case, one speaks from a personal area network with a spatial limit data communication area. The wireless personal area networks are regulated or standardized in the IEEE 802.11 standard. And there are different transmission methods in such an wireless personal areas. We have infrared to couple infrared communication ports. What is needed here is a visual contact between the device We have the Bluetooth technology. It's radio-based communication in 2.4 gigahertz frequency range. Here for the Bluetooth, we have transmission rates up to 3 megabits per second. And to mention some more, that wave radio-based communication for home automation systems.